The stains we carry, a forgotten teaching from the Buddha. Most people believe their problems come from the outside. Difficult people, difficult situations, bad luck, a stressful job, an unfair world. And because of this, they spend their lives trying to change what is happening around them. A better house, a better relationship, a better career, a better reputation. Yet something strange happens. Even when circumstances improve, dissatisfaction often remains. The Buddha noticed this long ago, and he offered a surprising explanation. The problem may not be what is happening around us. The problem may be what is already happening within us. Imagine a piece of cloth. Once white and clean, but over time it becomes stained with dirt, grease, and grime. Now imagine a dyer trying to color that cloth. Blue, yellow, red, purple. No matter what color is applied, the result is dull and distorted. The dye is not the problem. The cloth is. This is the image the Buddha uses in the Vatthasutta. He says that when the mind is stained, suffering is to be expected. But when the mind is free from stains, well-being naturally follows. This teaching is remarkable because the Buddha does not blame fate. He does not blame society. He does not blame other people. Instead, he asks a deeper question. What are the stains that distort the mind? And when he answers, he does not describe mysterious forces. He describes habits that appear in ordinary life every day. Habits so common that many people never notice them. The first stain is greed, not simply wanting things, but the feeling that what we have is never enough. A little more money, a little more praise, a little more comfort, a little more recognition. The mind quietly whispers, "Then I will be satisfied." But when that goal is reached, another appears, and another, and another. The object keeps changing. The dissatisfaction remains. The Buddha calls this a stain because it colors everything we experience. Instead of appreciating what is present, the mind becomes trapped in what is absent. The next stains are ill will, anger, and resentment. Someone says something hurtful, someone disappoints us, someone treats us unfairly. The event lasts a few minutes, but the mind continues the argument for weeks, sometimes years. We replay conversations, we imagine revenge, we rehearse speeches we never give. The original event may have ended long ago, yet suffering continues because the stain remains. The Buddha saw that anger does not merely affect the person toward whom it is directed, it also shapes the one who carries it. Then come jealousy and possessiveness, the quiet suffering of comparison. Why do they have more success? Why are they more respected? Why is their life easier? The mind begins measuring, comparing, competing, sometimes without end. A person's joy becomes difficult to celebrate because it feels like a threat. Another's success feels like our failure. What should have been a source of inspiration becomes a source of pain. Again, the problem is not the other person. The problem is the stain through which we are looking. The Buddha then points to something even more subtle: deception, hypocrisy, pretending to be something we are not. Many people spend enormous energy protecting an image, trying to appear wise, trying to appear successful, trying to appear spiritual, trying to appear beyond criticism. But maintaining an image is exhausting because reality constantly threatens to expose it. The Buddha's path is different. Instead of protecting appearances, he encourages honesty. A stain cannot be cleaned if we pretend it does not exist. Then there is stubbornness, defensiveness, the inability to admit mistakes. Perhaps someone offers feedback. Immediately the mind pushes back. Perhaps evidence appears. The mind searches for excuses. Perhaps a fault becomes obvious. Still, the mind refuses to acknowledge it. Why? Because protecting the ego feels more important than discovering the truth. But growth begins precisely where defensiveness ends. The moment we can say, "Perhaps I was wrong," a door opens. Learning becomes possible. Wisdom becomes possible. Freedom becomes possible. The Buddha continues his list: conceit, arrogance, pride, carelessness. Not because these make us bad people, but because they prevent us from seeing clearly. A stained mirror cannot reflect accurately. A stained mind cannot understand reality accurately. And this misunderstanding becomes the source of suffering, again and again, day after day, year after year. Notice something important. The Buddha never tells us to search for these stains in others. He does not say, look how greedy that person is. Look how arrogant that person is. Look how jealous they are. That is not the teaching. The teaching is to examine our own minds, because the stains in another person's mind are not our responsibility. The stains in our own mind are, and unlike the faults of others, these can actually be transformed. This is why the Vatthasutta remains so powerful today. It shifts attention away from blame, away from complaint, away from endlessly trying to rearrange the world, and directs attention towards something closer. The condition of the mind itself. A clean cloth receives color beautifully. A stained cloth distorts whatever touches it. The same is true of experience. When greed colors the mind, life appears incomplete. When anger colors the mind, life appears hostile. When jealousy colors the mind, life appears unfair. When conceit colors the mind, life becomes a competition. The world has not changed. The stain has changed the view. Most people spend their lives trying to improve the dye. The Buddha begins somewhere else. Clean the cloth, remove the stains, understand them, recognize them, abandon them. And as the stains gradually fade, something extraordinary happens. Not because the world becomes perfect, but because the mind becomes clear enough to meet the world as it truly is. That is the simple and profound message of the Vatthasutta, a teaching from more than 2,000 years ago, yet perhaps more relevant today than ever.